Hi friends, welcome back to our channel, and this is your friend Rohan. Today we're going to discuss something new about the medical insurance. What the things we should know before taking up a medical insurance policy. So today me and my friend Mr. Abhay will gonna clear all the doubts related to that. So I hope the video will be really helpful for you. Thumbs up and let's catch up in the video. Alright Abhay, so the very first question actually that I wanted to ask you, like we are such a young guy, so do you think really that we need any kind of a medical insurance for us?
Yeah, of course, Ron, of course, because it's not just the health insurance policies for the older people, this is for young people as well, even the children's as well, because while taking a health insurance policy, maybe we are completely fit and fine, but there might be chance in future we may have a condition, correct? And in that situation, if we are going to take a policy, we'll have to pay a literally high amount. Okay, so yes, of course, and there are two things which you need to understand. Is the first, the government regulations. Okay, in UAE, here we have to pay a fine if we don't have a policy. Correct. So that is the first reason. Second, we should have a policy because it's a personal requirement. Okay, it's just a lifestyle part nowadays because people are having a lot of disease young age. Okay, so we should have. So yeah, today we are going to discuss about the same, like things we should know before taking a health insurance policy. So in my opinion, we should have 7 points which we should keep in mind while taking a health insurance policy. The first one is always about the network hospital clinics. Okay, so what is this exactly? Maybe you have a question, correct?
Yeah, of course. Like I'm not well aware about that, and of course, like people like living here in UAE, we all are having some of the medical insurance with us, but unfortunately, we are not aware that what we actually are using and what we have. So yeah, you can just help me out. What's actually the network? And I know few of the things. Like I have heard about it, like network, and I guess there are like many different networks in the market currently, right? So yeah, you could just help us out like by telling us which is the best network that we should keep in our mind by next time whenever we are taking any policy. So we can go for that specific network in that case.
Sure. Actually, I'll tell you differently. Actually, all networks are good first of all. Okay, it's just some companies are depending upon TPAs, the third party, and some are having their own. Okay, like if I talk about not
TPA, sorry to interrupt you. Like TPA, you said it's like network provider.
Third party, you may hear Nextcare, Mednet, NAS, Neuron, like this. You may hear.
So basically, it's the same. The network provider and TPA, it's both the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, there are in-house as well. If your network provider can be TPA is outside basically. Like companies not having their in-house facility, they are depending on the third party. And that third party is not just usable by the same company, but also by the rest companies. Okay. And there are second thing is in-house facilities. Okay. So in-house facility, you can say the big name in the market. I mean, not the good one I'm saying, just some name I'm telling you. The Sukoon is having the in-house facility. And you may hear about Takaful Amara, Abu Dhabi Health Insurance, Dubai Health Insurance. And these companies, they are depending on third party insurance as well. I'm sorry, the third party, So now the first thing is always we should know is the network hospital clinics. Now what is this? Suppose Ron, you are in Dubai, okay, and your nearby hospital is Saudi German, okay. You are taking a health insurance policy, but somewhere you are in hurry, so you may forget to ask, or somewhere it was missed to ask like the hospital which you are looking for, is it covered or not? You have taken a plan, the basic plan, or maybe the good plan, but which is not covered in Saudi German hospital. What will happen in this scenario? See, first, if you are going to that hospital, okay, that hospital will not be on direct billing, basically. You will have to pay the complete amount from your pocket, okay. And one more thing, if that is not coming in the network category which you have chosen out, okay, in that scenario that is going to be on a reimbursement basis. And I'll tell you very frankly, the big fault in this process is if you are going for a reimbursement process, okay, which is not covered in your list, in that scenario company will not reimburse you the complete amount. This is the main scenario. In this scenario, company will be giving you only 80%, okay. Plus, there will be some agreed rates. Let's suppose you are an individual customer for a hospital, okay. You are going for a test like CBC, that is costing you somewhere 500 dirham, okay. But for a person who is going through a health insurance plan or by a provider, he, in that scenario, because they have a kind of tie-up, in this scenario, they used to charge 200 dirham. They have certain, set of charges basically. So while going for a reimbursement, company will not pay you the complete 500 dirham or 80% of that exactly. Like you will have to understand a clear mindset. This example is, if you are paying 500 dirham for a test, okay, somewhere company will give you approximately 250 or maximum 300 dirham. Now if you can see, this is not exactly coming 80%, because they have a certain law that if a customer is going into the network but not in the same, which you have opted for, then in this scenario you will have to pay rest amount, the complete amount basically, and company will not give you the full amount. There will be some certain amount which company will deduct. That is maybe not helpful for you, actually not for anyone, So first thing is always the network hospital or the network clinic. Okay, one more thing in this part. You maybe you don't know, the plan which you have. If you can just open the table of benefits, if you can see the outpatient and inpatient, there are two columns. Okay,
yeah.
If you're checking the outpatient column, there will be some three things. First, if the plan is having a direct access to hospital, then you can go directly to the hospital without any hesitation. Okay, in the network one, of course. And some plans are there where company says outpatient will be in clinics, and in that also it will be GP referral, general practitioners. Okay, you cannot guide directly to the specialist. You will have to go to the GP. If he refers, then on to the specialist. And then the second category where you can go to the directly specialist, but only in the clinics again. And the third, we can say a kind of premium as well, where customer can go directly to the network hospital for outpatient as well. Now, what is outpatient? You may be thinking like, what is outpatient, inpatient? Basically, outpatient something wherever it comes for a consultancy only. Okay, if you are going to, let's suppose I'm having a fever. Okay, in this time there is no a big medicines or big surgeries gonna be happen. I can go to the doctor basically. He can consult me. He can just give me some medicines. I can come back to home. This is called outpatient. Now, second is inpatient. Inpatient is all those things where we need to hospitalize for 24 hours or more than that. Okay, so this is outpatient, inpatient. Yeah, so basically, this is the first point which we should know before taking health insurance.
Here I just wanted to put a question. Actually, you use the term specifically you asked for the fever thing you said. So sometimes it might be possible that a child or an adult, he's or she's they're having a fever, it's a high fever. So then it will be counted in a emergency situation, or it will be counted still as a outpatient.
See, if it is a fever, okay, it will be
high fever I'm talking about.
Yeah. Even if it is a high fever, okay. But not the critical one. Okay, if let's suppose a high fever, maybe you are considering 100 degree or 102, correct? In this scenario, again, you can just go to the clinic if your plan is having the outpatient clinics, because this is not the critical situation. And in this scenario, you can just go to a doctor, take a medicine, coming back to home. In case in this scenario, if doctor recommends you, okay, you cannot go to the home, okay, you will have to hospitalize here in hospital for 24 hours, maybe 1 or 2 days basically. Okay. So that is something which we cannot, understand in the beginning. That doctor will let us know exactly we need to hospitalize or not, because at the time of claim, company will only refer the hospital reports, not your words or their own words. Okay, hospital report is the final report. If doctor mentions that yes, a patient need to be hospitalized for this certain time, okay, or this time period basically, that is gonna be covered in hospital as well. For that there is no concern. But we cannot say in the beginning it is gonna be inpatient or outpatient, depending on the scenario.
Okay, so basically you want to try to say that until and unless it's a kind of a life-threatening condition because of that fever, it won't be counted as an inpatient or as an emergency. If it is a normal kind of a fever, it will be treated, or even if it is a high fever, but it's not life-threatening one, so it will be considered under the outpatients only, right?
Somewhere you are right, not exactly the term life-threatening. Not all the things can cause the death. Okay, sometimes we just need a rest, but in a we can say hospital with the hospital procedures. Okay, we will have to on a sleeping mode in the hospital for 24 hours more than. What will the chance? Because sometimes let's suppose we have a low water level in the body, so maybe doctor will ask you, because to inject the water in your body, they will may ask you to be hospitalized. Correct? So it's not about the life-threatening things or the death cause. It is up to the requirement. This is a very critical point, no one can exactly tell you right now before taking.
Yeah, because actually I have heard this a lot of time. People are complaining about the policies that they were having a high fever in the night time or in the daytime, and when they have gone to claim the policy, the insurance company denied. They said that no, it won't be covered into a hospital because it's not a life-threatening condition, or it's not a emergency case.
Correct.
It's an emergency as per you, but as per the insurance company.
Because somewhere fever is a thing which we can cure by taking a medicine. or maybe by taking some rest, So yes, this is totally up to the real time scenario.
So basically, like if this is not an emergency case, so as per you, like what is being covered under the emergency?
Actually, again, all the things, if you have taken a basic plans, who have outpatient clinics, so you will have to understand only the one thing is you are totally, depending upon the doctor. If doctor mentions yes, he need to hospitalize for 24 hours or more than that, only in this scenario company will be covering your claim in hospital. Otherwise, it is emergency for you as you told, correct? But not for the company, so it is not going to be covered.
Yeah, actually, that's what I'm asking from you. Like from your end, like is there any specific things which are being covered in a emergency? Is there any kind of a disease specific things which are covered?
Actually, not just specifically. Okay, let's suppose if I'm going for fever, a high fever may come to typhoid, correct? Now, if a customer is having a typhoid and is going to the hospital, then yes, it will gonna be covered, because in this scenario, doctor will may ask to hospitalize. Again, don't in this part there is no specific answer. I'll tell you very frankly. It is up to the real time scenario. If doctor mentions in the report that yes, he will have to hospitalize, and only in this scenario plan will cover that thing, otherwise no. Whatever the scenario is, if doctor is not mentioning that customer no need to be hospitalized, he can just take a medicine, go back to home, and he can take a rest at home. Company will not cover it in the hospital if your plan is having a basic plan. At the same time, if you are having a plan which will have direct access to hospital, now that is gonna be covered. Okay, so I believe now you are clear for the first point, the network.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the second point now. The second point is about the co-insurance or the copay, or you can say deductible as well. Okay, deductible you cannot see in a major plan, so we'll talk about the major things, which is copay and co-insurance. Now, see, copay and co-insurance are that, okay, where let's suppose there is a percentage mentioned, okay, whenever in the TOB, in the plan benefits, basically, if there is any percentage mentioned, you will have to understand that that percentage you will have to pay, okay. That is the basically means of copay and co-insurance. Now, suppose if your plan is having, let's suppose there are some plans who have 0% copay as well, okay. Copays will be normally, coming for outpatient facilities. Some plans are having inpatient as well, okay. We'll go for the outpatient things, like there are consultation, okay, consultation, medicine, diagnostics, physiotherapy, dental. Some plan having the optical coverage as well. So let's suppose if a plan is having the 20% consultation fee, okay, or maximum 50 dirham, 25 dirham, whatever it is. So that percentage or that capping amount you will have to pay for all consultation, okay. And if there is any percentage mentioned as a copay in your diagnostics, let's suppose if it is 20%, okay. So you will have to understand whatever the diagnostic cost is, you will have to pay 20% on that, okay. And let's suppose if there is any co-insurance or copay is mentioned on the medicine, so you will have to pay that percentage. Let's suppose if that is having again 20%, so if the medicine bill is 1000 dirham, you will have to pay 200 dirham basically, okay. The same is for physiotherapy, you will have to pay 20% flat, or for the dental or for the optical, whatever the thing you will choose, okay. So yeah, the second point is always the co-insurance, because co-insurance or copay is something which you will have to pay while you will go for a claim, okay. Whether if it is a direct billing, in this scenario also you will have to pay that co-insurance or the copay basically. I am not telling you, but why I am telling you to check this, because that is really frustrating. Suppose you are paying for health insurance 5000 dirham, okay, and at the time of claim again you will have to pay 100, 200. Like, see, it's not about the big amount exactly. This is just an example of 200 dirham actually. There might be chance that you may have to pay 1000 dirham as well, or 2000 dirham. At that time, you will be frustrated. Oh, I'm already having a 5000 dirham policy. I'm paying for that. Again, I will have to pay that. So this is your mistake that you have not seen before taking the policy. That is this having a co-insurance or co-pay or not? Okay. So the second thing is always about the co-insurance one.
Okay, so basically, like you told about a policy, like we can even opt for the policies which has 0% co-payment. So is there something extra amount that we have to pay for those policy, or there is some additional amount that we need to pay to the insurance company?
Actually, most of the company, not all I can say, but yeah, most of the insurance company, they have category of plans. Sometimes customer looking for good plans, but they are okay with some percentage, which they have to pay 20%, 10%. But yeah, company give an option, so you can have a policy with 0% as well. Okay. Now that is totally up to you. Maybe you or your advisor missed this point to ask, or to confirm which co-insurance or which copay you have in your policy. Okay. But yes, you will have to check always before taking a policy, and all the companies have all three type of what we call plans: 0%, 10%, or 20% basically. So that is up to you only. You will have to check all the time, and you have to actually, because this is something very important, you know. Yeah, I'm talking about this. This is just for the outpatient. Now coming back to the inpatient. Now you know, like the major treatment cost always comes in inpatient, correct? But the the medical procedures are going on. You're hospitalized, doctor coming back, going back, like these processes, and this normally the charges coming very high. So let's suppose your plan is having inpatient 10%, 20%, okay, without any specific capping. So you have to understand, like if the billing is 50,000 dirham, that 10% is also costing 5,000.
What's actually the term you use, capping? What is actually
capping? Is something like I'll tell you basically. There are some plans who have zero copay or zero capping basically. Okay, there are some plans who are having some capping. It's a limit basically. Limit basically that if you are using more than this, you will have to pay this amount. Okay, or your plan is just having, like suppose there are 2-3 types of plans. So yeah, now
I have seen in some table of benefits in some of the policies that it is written like in front of consultation. It's like 20%. Max 50 dirham. I guess something like that. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So like in that, and there are some flat copays also where there is no capping basically. So yeah, this thing.
So what's actually the cap max 50? Can you just elaborate it a little bit?
This is like suppose if your plan says that it is having outpatient 20% or maximum 50 dirham. Let's suppose, okay. In this scenario, what you will have to understand is if the consultation fee is coming 500 dirham. Now the 500 dirham 20% is 100 dirham, okay. But the plan which you have chosen, if we have that capping, okay, or the co-insurance or co-pay also, so that plan says of 20% or maximum 50 dirham. So whichever is lesser, company will charge that. Now the co-pay, according to the co-pay, the amount 20% is coming 100 dirham, but your plan said that you will have to pay 50 dirham. Now going for the next example, suppose the consultation fee is coming 100 dirham. Now 20% maximum 50 dirham. Now the 20% is 20 dirham, which is lesser than the 50 dirham, correct? In this scenario, you will have to pay only 20 dirham.
Okay, like you wanted to say whatever the doctors have charged the amount, and
that is for consultation fee.
That's for the consultation. So 20% of that amount or 50 dirham, whichever is costing us less to pay, that amount we need to pay. Okay,
correct.
It's clear. It's clear. Okay.
Now, if you are going for the third part, so again, just continuing to the same part, there is a room type. Now, whenever we are taking a plan, we may forget to ask or we may have skipped this point. But I personally think this is a very important point. Now I'll tell you what. See, your plan is having a room type. Okay, always a room type. Some plans having a single private room. A private room basically they have mentioned. Some plan having the shared room. Correct. Now suppose you are taking a plan who have a sharing room. Okay, but your plan is having your plan is having a sharing room. Okay, for the inpatient of course, and you are going into the hospital. Suppose you are unable to ask or somehow it was missed, you are going for the single private room of that hospital. Now in this scenario, it's not like you will have to pay only the difference amount. You will have to understand. Whenever we are upgrading the room, okay, not just the room charges, but along with the room charges, the facilities are increasing. If you have observed, okay, so the consultation fee of doctor will gonna be increased. So it's not like that, like for like suppose in South German or NMC hospital, the shared room is costing 500 dirham for per night. Okay. At the same time, the private room is costing 1000 dirham. So maybe you are thinking that you will have to pay only 500 dirham, correct? Because the difference amount is only this per day. So if it is for 4 days, you will have to pay just 2000. But exactly wrong, no. You will have to pay not just 500 dirham, but there are some additional costs also coming. Now, whenever you are upgrading the room from the plan, okay. So if a plan is having shared room, you are going for a single private room. Then the doctor fees for that room is gonna be increased. Okay, all the related charges will gonna be increased. That is not just gonna be difference of 500 dirham. It can be per day. It can be costing you a difference amount of 1000 or maybe 1500. This is a very basic point, but a very critical point for a customer to save the cost. So always check the plan, which plan room type you have chosen, whether it's a single type or a shared room.
Okay, so basically one thing here as well I would like to ask, like this is something which is like standard in the policies, or like it's our choice, like which kind of a room we want in the policy, or like is this something customizable, like if I have taken a lower policy, but I need a private room in that. So can I do that thing?
No. Like, if you've taken a plan and in that if it is already mentioned that it is a semi-shared room, you really cannot do anything. Okay, just you can do is you can just leave that policy. You can take another one, but after taking the policy, you cannot. This is why we are discussing like things you should know before taking a policy. So this is also a major thing which maybe most of the customers, they don't think they should check, but yes, they always need to check the room type, the room which they have chosen. Okay,
so basically this is something which is not customizable. This is a standard thing which is being given by the insurance company.
So we'll have to check the plan. In the plan what things are coming, like single private room or the shared room. Basically, we'll have to check that.
So I guess basically only the a little higher level or enhanced level plans will only be having a private room, right?
Not really. I'll tell you very not really the very comprehensive plan. You can say mediocre plans is also having a single private room, basically. With the just difference of 500 or 600 dirham, you can have a plan which will have a single private room, basically.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, and some other points which you want to
highlight? Of course, not just this one. Now the annual limit. What is annual limit? Basically, some plans are having a higher limit, some plans are having a lesser limit. Okay, so let's suppose your plan is having 150k. Okay, or 250k, 500 dirham, 500k, or 1 million dirham. So basically, this you should know. Let's suppose you are having a plan of 150k dirham per year. Okay, but just in case, you have exhausted that amount. What in this case what? So you should always check your plan is having up to the what amount of limit, whether it is 1 million dirham or just 150k. So yeah, this is also a thing which we should know. About the annual limit, because this is a specific amount. More than that, you cannot use in any scenario. Okay.
So this thing it is 150k and 1 million you told, right? So it's as per the plans or
Yeah, of course, as per the plans, whatever the plan you will choose. So we'll have to check the plans, okay, before taking this.
If I wanted to I do not want to spend a lot of money. So is it possible that I'm taking a basic policy and I can tell the insurance company that I want a 1 million coverage in this one?
Actually, I'll tell you very frankly, this is not costing a lot wrong. This is not costing a lot. It will just have a difference of 100 or 200 dirham in terms of price, or maybe 300 dirham, not more than that actually. Okay. So yes, we should take a plan with higher annual limit, of course. So that there is no limit basically.
Can I just add it into my basic policy? I just wanted to actually ask. Can I just
no.
I can't request the insurance company to just increase my medical limit.
There are some plans who already have given there is certain limits, but not the very basic plans. Some plans are having options for 500 or 1 million dirham. Accordingly, the price will increase, but just by 100, 200, maximum 300 dirham basically per person. So yeah, room after room, the annual limit is also very important basically. Yes.
But sometimes what do I feel, and many of the other people as well feel, that 1 million it's a lot of big amount.
But you are in UAE. You don't know the medical inflation here is 12%. Okay, it is increasing day by day, and that 1 million dirham you can use for everything. Suppose you are having any accidental thing. Suppose you are having any major critical things. One of my customer, he was having a chemotherapy. Now you are thinking for you the 1 million dirham is so high, okay, while taking a policy. But just ask that person who is having a chemotherapy procedure now in this case, okay, do he have limited amount that 100k, is this amount gonna be covered that thing? No. The chemotherapies can be 12 or 10 sessions, per year basically. That is costing a lot of money. And God forbid, there might be chance, there might be chance that you will be good, okay? But there might be chance that you will be going for conditions again and again. Suppose you are having a kidney transplant or any heart procedure. No, these are costing really so high amount.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is for the annual limit we should know before taking a policy. So okay, more than that, the next point I would be going for the this chemotherapy. I just remember one more point for you. The daycare treatment. What is daycare treatment basically? While taking a health insurance, some plans are covering all type of daycare treatments, okay, but some plans are not. They have some specific list for the daycare treatment. So we should check always: is my plan covering all type of daycare treatments, or they are just taking cover of some specific thing? Now, what is daycare treatment? Now, this is something where the treatment gonna be happen in a daytime process. it is not gonna be, I mean exactly not for daytime, it can be in night as well. But it's an example. Now what is day? Because this is for normally, for 6 hours, 8 hours, 4 hours, like this. So these procedures, like I'll tell you one example. The one is your therapies, okay, and second some surgeries, okay. So these things basically, all type of daycare treatment basically. So you will have to check whether your plan is covering daycare treatments or not. And if it is covering, then all or some specific daycare treatments are covered in the plan. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So related to this thing, like daycare surgeries that you actually said, or like treatments or anything, any kind of a thing like that. So I have heard a lot of like issues people are facing related to these things, right? One of my friend actually had an incident related to this. He was actually having a surgery which was actually being planned, and the doctor told him, doctor gave the date like after 5 to 6 months, and then he took the insurance actually. And when he has gone to like for that surgery, so the insurance company didn't cover it. They said it's a pre-planned surgery, so we can't cover it. So like, what's the reason behind it?
Okay, so yeah, the next point which we are going to discuss is the same. Waiting period on the pre-existing conditions. Okay, now that guy who was having a disease, I mean whatever it can be, okay, it can be a gallbladder surgery or any treatment or anything basically,
Yeah, it was actually for the stones only. It was related to the gallbladder removal.
Okay, yeah. So I'll tell you one thing. While taking a health insurance plan, we should have to understand the waiting periods. Now they have, like specific plan, they have some specific waiting periods. But nowadays not so much costly, but somewhere we can say costly, of course, no doubt. But we have a surety. Okay. Now what's the point is, suppose a person is having a problem, okay, a gallbladder problem. Now he's consulting a doctor, but when he's going to take a plan, there will be some specific waiting period. Normally this is come to 6 months waiting period, okay. But some plans in the market
for
now,
pre-existing,
for pre-existing conditions, okay, as well as for the upcoming conditions, there are 6 months of waiting period.
One more thing, I just would like to interrupt you. In between, there is a lot of like confusion in the people. Like there are two terms, I guess. One is the pre-existing and one is chronic conditions, I guess, right? So can you just elaborate a little bit for both of them?
Sure. So I'll tell you basically, pre-existing condition, we can say all those which we are continuing right now or that was in the past. Now do not just go on to the word pre-existing, okay? It can be in the past as well. Okay, so that is going to be counted as a pre-existing condition. Now more on that, the chronic conditions. So chronic conditions are all those conditions which takes time to develop in the body. Okay, it cannot come overnight. Like suppose I'll take an example for diabetes, just an example. Okay, or your friend like the stone problem. These problems cannot come overnight. Okay, there are some specific time. Like in some body it might take 3 months, 4 months. Okay. And 1 month as well might be, okay. So yeah, these are some things which are called chronic conditions. All the things which will take time to develop in the body, that is called the chronic in nature as well. And the pre-existing, again, maybe the person having diabetes before taking a policy. But like I'll tell you one more thing in this part. Sometimes customer thinks like he was having diabetes from last 4 years, okay, but he's not having a major problem. He's just taking a single medication for that, and that is fine for to cure that diabetes. But exactly like Rohan, while taking a policy, first we should always inform to the insurance company that okay, I'm having this condition. Now with this, company can ask you to pay some extra amount. That is called loading amount, the additional amount basically. But
that actually comes pretty high. Like many of my friends, and even I have. Like interacted with many of the people, they tell that like the way like they increase the premium, it's way too high. It's out of the budget.
I'll tell you, I understand normally the loading comes high, but there is a specific reason as well for that. Because suppose you are having a diabetes, okay, you are taking medicine, you are having a complete controlled diabetes. But I'll tell you very frankly, just I'm taking a number for diabetes. This can be for other things as well, okay. Diabetes is something which we cannot destroy from the root, okay. We can just cure to a limited time, but it will come back again and again, because these are called lifestyle disease. Like your BP, your diabetes, your thyroid, asthma, like these things we can never destroy it from the root. Okay, like let's suppose for diabetes we'll take. I know you are taking a medicine, you are completely fit and fine, but this is something in the present. Okay, there might be chance in future you may have a problem of stroke. Okay, at that time what you will do? You will go for a clinic and when you will go for a claim, and if company say okay, we'll cover the limitation of diabetes as well, in that the company will have to bear that amount. Because something we'll have to understand is insurance companies are always running on the uncertainty factors, okay, not on the certain factors but on the uncertainty factors. So if there is a stroke thing will come in future, okay, in this scenario I'll tell you the cost in UAE, if you're going for some good hospitals, okay, will be crossing for at least 50,000 dirham for the complete treatment basically, okay, and then the future cost will also come, not just the treatment. That after that there are some post hospitalization as well. Yeah, the follow up basically you can say that is gonna be there. So you should always declare that thing. And some plans in the market, they have 6 months of waiting period. Some plans now they are covering from day one if customer is declaring. Now again for this point is waiting period is not just for this pre-existing condition or for the chronic, but also for the maternity. Like you may hear while you are checking the plan prices. So maybe you have noticed the price for a lady, especially for the female married woman, the price is slightly higher than
it's always on a higher side.
Yeah, what's the reason behind this? Because as per the DHC rule, okay, here in UAE, all the women who are having the policy, they should have a coverage for maternity by default. Customer cannot remove it. Okay, company will have to cover it. Now in this there are some waiting periods as well. In this, it cannot be always 1 year, 6 months or 40 days. It is depending on the plan, what plan you have chosen basically. Like some basic plans, they have 60 days of waiting period on the maternity. Okay, like after 60 days, if lady will conceive the maternity, then the company will cover. Okay, as per the plan benefits. Now there are some plans in the market nowadays, because of the competition basically. So some plans are saying, okay, after taking the policy, from the policy issuance date, the effective date basically, from that day and after 40 days, if the lady will conceive the maternity, then company will cover the plan, the maternity as per the plan benefits. So yeah, there is a waiting period for that also, okay, but that is again depending upon the plan, what plan we are taking right now.
But what if the female is already pregnant in that case?
Again in this case, the female will have to pay some extra loading amount.
Okay, so basically one question I would like to ask here, Ravi, sometimes I've heard this thing, you're talking about this maternity coverage, right? Let's say the standard premium it's like around 6,000-7,000, but when the person is declaring that pregnancy, it goes up to like 28,000-30,000 dirham. Don't you think that this is a reasonable price, even like we are having some alternative options in the market right now, right? Today's most of the hospitals, they are providing some kind of a maternity packages are there. Or even I think that if a person is paying from his own pocket for the whole maternity procedure, don't you think it will be costing way much cheaper in comparison to this?
No, because there is a specific reason. First, it always not cost you 30,000 or 20,000. It depending on the plan, what plan you are choosing. First of all, okay, and of course, in case if you are paying 20,000, then I'm telling you one thing, you will be getting the services as well. Like suppose if you are comparing the packages with the health insurance plan, okay, with the maternity coverage, so that packages are not covering the pharmacy, okay. There might be chance, you may hear when a lady gets pregnant, he may have a chance to get a thyroid easily, okay. In that scenario, if a lady is having thyroid, there will be some medicines which will come for thyroid,
Yeah, sometimes the sugar levels may increase
sugar level also comes
iron medication.
So in this scenario, this package will not cover this thing, but the health insurance will cover that too, okay. First, now secondly, not just this one, but the package will not give you the emergency thing, like suppose in the delivery time, okay, or in the complete maternity time, if there is any complication comes, company will cover, the health insurance plan will cover, but the package will not, okay. And the third one for the newborn baby basically. So if you are having a package that is not covering the complete thing for the newborn baby, but the health insurance will cover the newborn baby complete things, okay, first 30 days that is covered by the insurance company. So in my opinion, I'll tell you one thing again.
So first 30 days you said, I just would like to confirm one thing, in this for 30 days, it's everything covered for a baby, if it is baby is born and there is any kind of a disease to a baby.
Company will cover that.
Okay, and the maternity package which is there for that, is it covered or?
Yeah, no. In the maternity package it will not.
Okay, so if anything happens to a baby till 30 days,
yeah,
the policy as you said, So the health insurance will be covering each and everything.
Covering.
If a child is having, like, sometimes it is most common that children may have like something like jaundice or something like that.
Yeah,
at the
in this
time of
scenario,
birth.
they will have to go with the procedure that is an ICU. Company will cover that.
I guess
Company will cover. Yeah, that costs way too high. Like, for that per night, it costs somewhere more than 3,000 or 4,000 dirham in good hospitals. Okay.
Yeah.
So somewhere, let's suppose if this is gonna be with your family.
So even if a child is like admitted into an ICU and for the first 30 days,
Company
the
will
child will be covered by the medical
Yeah,
insurance.
but the first 30 days only.
Okay, but that the maternity package will not be covering.
No. But in the health insurance also, like, you will have to understand one thing. The health insurance will also cover some things. Okay, see, this is covering nothing. This will cover something, but there are three things which you will have to understand. The first one, the by birth disease. Okay, like, you may hear just example. There are these things as well. Just example, you may hear, like, from the birth, some children are having their hole in their heart. Okay,
Yeah.
this thing, and some other congenital things as well. So these things are not covered because these are something DHA exclusions basically as well. So yeah, but somewhere I personally believe something is better than nothing. Okay, somewhere you are getting good in this, and ultimately again I'll tell you, even if you're going for any not way too good hospital but some good hospital, so the package will also cost you somewhere 8,000 dirham. Okay, but the health insurance plan will make cost you 15 or 20,000 dirham, anything. Okay, for a lady. But again, they are giving you the coverage basically, not just for the delivery, but after delivery, even before delivery as well, the complete process, they are covering that. So, taking health insurance while declaring maternity and paying, I think that is value for money. I'll not say this is not. This is value for money, of course, 100%.
Okay, like you are saying, it's better than taking up that maternity package which is available by the hospital.
It's better to have a health insurance than a maternity packages in the market.
Okay.
I mean, by the hospital basically, and it's just to have a policy is of course a very good thing, not just for the maternity, but for the rest thing as well. There might be chance that after delivery, there might be chance. I mean, God forbid, there might be chance that after delivery, maybe the lady will have a small accident, correct? That package will cover. No, but that health insurance will cover that thing. Okay. So yeah, it's good to have health insurance.
Okay, all right. It's all clear about this, and some other key points if something is left from
Yes. Okay, so now the last but not the least, of course, So while taking health insurance policy, there are some exclusions by the DHA, Dubai Health Authority. Okay, but there are some plans for just bypassing these things. Like suppose I tell you, it's not mandatory for a health insurance plan to have a dental, optical, psychiatric coverage. Okay, or a worldwide coverage basically. Okay, but nowadays there are some plans who are giving this, and for this also they are not charging a lot basically. Okay, it is up to the plan of course. And suppose you are having a plan, okay, but you think that there should be dental coverage as well, but your plan don't have, but there is an option, you can take that. It is something additional, we can say a bonus facilities by the insurance company. By taking a little bit more, they are giving you this feature, okay. After that, you wanted to have an optical coverage as well, because like as you can see, I have specs in my eyes, yeah. So maybe you also require in future, might be. So it's good to have an optical plan as well. These are not mandatory. This is something optional for you. But I will say it's a bonus thing, basically, because by paying just few dirhams, I can have this also covered. So while taking a policy, I can consider this point as well. It's not mandatory because it is not written as well as the DHA guidelines, But yes, and the third one is the psychiatric things, So these three things also, like I think we should see if I'm paying just 200-300 dirham more to covering this thing, I should take a policy who will cover this thing,
Okay, so basically, like this is not a mandatory thing that
by
is
the government or by the insurance.
Yeah, it is not a mandatory thing. Like if I wanted to opt for a dental thing.
Yeah, some plans are having this feature in the policy basically. Like suppose I'll tell you example. There's a Takaful company you may hear, in Takaful Amrat, there are two plans, the same name, silver, okay. One is coming from the provider Next Care, another one is coming from the Mednet. So the silver plan, the base silver plan, the silver Next Care is not covering the dental and optical, okay. But the Mednet, they are covering the dental. Even they are not also covering the optical, but they are covering the dental. Okay. And if I'm going for other plans like maybe the NAS or some other plans, they will have what we call this how to say dental, optical, and psychiatric coverage as well. So depending upon the plan, that we can see, while choosing a plan. And some plans they don't have the coverage in the worldwide. Some are just having in UAE and in your home country. Okay, but there might be chance that you may have to travel apart from your home country, and apart from UAE you will be somewhere else, like you may be in Saudi, correct? So you can take a plan by just paying.
So do the insurance companies they charge something extra for this worldwide coverage?
Not really. Not really. They are not charging really so much of amount. Just few dirham. Actually, for worldwide and for UAE coverage, it is not really impacting the price. And nowadays, because the competition of market basically, insurance companies are giving the worldwide feature. But yeah, one thing which you will have to understand in this is, whenever you are seeing a worldwide plan, that really doesn't mean that this plan will give you the direct billing in that country, okay? And all type of treatment. No. Not the plan one will be covered, but the very emergency things which can cause a death, okay? The life threatenings we can see. Like suppose if a person is having a heart attack, he cannot come to UAE, he will have to take a treatment in the same country wherever he is. So in that scenario, yes, company will be asking you to share the documents, the treatment paper, and that is going to be reimbursed as per the plan. Like some plan used to give 80%, some plans are giving 100%, okay, some plans 50, 60, as per the plan that you can see in the columns.
So if in case let's say this international coverage, if I'm not keen to buy have that specific benefit into my policy, can I just remove that thing from my policy?
You cannot remove that, but I'll tell you one thing, if you're taking a good plan, as I told you, that is something coming as a additional benefit basically, a bonus thing basically for you. For that, you're not paying a really good high amount. You're just paying few dirham. Like I'll tell you, if it is just somewhere it is costing 50 to 100 or maximum 200 dirham basically. Okay. So yes, it is something nowadays it is coming from the insurance companies, okay, because of the competition market. But it is not mandatory by the DHA. Okay, so this is why I'm telling you this as an additional bonus point, not as a mandatory thing. So yeah, this is all for today. Okay, like these 7 points we have to understand always while taking a health insurance plan. And it was a nice time talking to you basically.
Yeah, same here. And I hope you all guys had a great time watching the video. And I hope now most of your doubts are already being cleared by this video. So just
do like the video, do share the video with your friends and family, and do subscribe this channel for more upcoming videos. So now we are going to make more good health insurance points, or not just the health insurance point. You can just tell us about term insurance if you want to have the motor insurance. You can just tell us, okay, in the comment box. We will cover that all.
Yeah, so basically now the coming videos that will be there, that are going to be very helpful for you. Yeah. So just stick to our channel, and for day-to-day health insurance, medical insurance inquiries, or whatever the problems you actually face while taking up the policies, that everything will going to be solved, and you'll learn more about the medical insurance part.
And also one more thing, just in case if you wanted this video in Hindi, we can make that video for you. It's not easy to make in all the languages, but we can make the video in Hindi as well. So if you want the video in Hindi,
there is a mixed population living here in UAE. So some of the people might face a problem while understanding the English language. So yeah, we can do that as well.
Correct. And just let us know in the comment box. Comment box is open for you. So do like this video, share the video, and just comment box all your doubts, all your query on how was experience with this video. And just let us know. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
See you in the next video.
Yeah, see you in the next video.